Hi everyone, I'm Darcy. I'm a registered veterinary technician here at the Ontario SPCA Provincial Education and Animal Centre. And this is Nico, and today we're going to talk about some of the highlights of an intake examination, which happens when an animal comes into the shelter. So we do a full physical exam where we go from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail, just to make sure that the animal is happy and healthy. But today we're going to highlight some of the fun things that we look at and look for during an intake exam. Okay, so the next part of our intake exam after doing the physical component, which I've already checked Nico from the tip of his nose to the tip of his tail, and everything looks good. He's a little bit on the heavy side, but that's okay. We're gonna get him on a diet. But now we're gonna weigh him to see how big he actually is. Weighing animals in a shelter is extremely important. It lets us know if they're gaining weight or losing weight. It also allows us to medicate them properly when they come in. They all get a deworming medication and some antiparasitic medication, and it's important for us to dose it properly, so their weight is vital to know. Okay, Nico, you are such a good boy. Okay, got his weight, perfect. So what we're going to do now is something called a Woods lamp. So we have this funny little device here that's got a UV light. It's nice and purple. You won't really be able to see it with the light on. We do this in the dark, and what we're looking for is essentially any kind of sort of fungal infection. So we're looking for a fluorescent apple green pickup on the light on his fur. So again, we're going to go from the tip of his nose to the tip of his tail, running the Woods lamp all over his body, including the bottom of his paws and his belly. And that way, if we do notice anything funny, we can have him further examined by a veterinarian, and if we need to do any further testing, we'll do it at that time. All right, so now that we've completed the Woods lamp portion of the intake exam, we're going to move on to scanning for a microchip. This is a really important section of the intake exam because if an animal comes into us that's a stray, it will help us reunite them with their owner. It's also important to microchip every animal that gets adopted out of our center because as much as we care for them and we keep them in our homes and we keep them safe and protected, sometimes animals just get away from us. So in the case that that happens, Nico will be microchipped, and this will allow us to help reunite him with his owner. So I'm just going to grab the microchip scanner. And even though a microchip generally is implanted under the skin between the shoulder blades, we like to do a full kind of body scan just to make sure, because the odd time microchips can actually kind of migrate. So sometimes they're found in odd places in the body. So we're just gonna start scanning him here. And we just kind of go in a wave sort of motion all down his body and back up, just to make sure we're not missing anything. And even sometimes down under the chest, because they can move. So there's no ID found. So now what we'll do is we'll scan a microchip that we have here, make sure that the numbers match, which they do, and then we would implant this microchip underneath the skin. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes video in the Ontario SPCA, highlighting some of the main components of an intake examination. If you like what you saw, please leave a comment and let us know if there's anything else you'd like to learn. Thanks for tuning in.